All right, guys. So, hey, we're going to hear Stephanie's testimony tonight. So, first question for you. What is your spiritual background growing up?
So I grew up with two parents with two different beliefs. So my dad was a Christian. He grew up Christian, and my mom was Catholic. But she married my dad, so she was kind of figuring out what the differences were and just trying to understand Christianity.
So, how did you come to know Jesus?
So because my mom married my dad, and they were trying to be figuring out everything. We were church hopping and figuring out what church to go to. And when we figured out the church, we became a part of a Baptist church. And I grew up going to Sunday school and learning all about the Bible. And I repeatedly got told the gospel, and I understood what it meant. And I decided to give my life to Christ. And I got baptized at 8.
Yeah, that's right. So, since coming to know Jesus, how has he changed your life?
So I've been through a lot since 8. My parents' marriage was not a biblical marriage. It was really tough, and they argued a lot. There was a lot going on, and they wanted to get a divorce. And high school was hard. Freshman year was just a really hard year. They were ready to get a divorce, and everything was crazy, and I got super anxious, and there was just a lot in my life that was not going the way I wanted. And I became depressed, and I became suicidal. Sorry, I get a little scared telling this. And one night, I was ready to end my life. But I grew up in church, and I learned about who God is, and I knew that I could pray to him. So I got on my knees instead, and I was really just questioning if I did this, if I ended my life, will I still go to heaven? Would God forgive me for doing this and still let me in? So that was just something I was struggling with, and I just prayed, and God didn't answer that question, but he comforted me instead. I just felt the presence of Jesus, and I finally felt loved by something. And so I thought, if this is rock bottom, if this is where I literally just want to die, and this is probably one of the hardest feelings I've ever felt, and God can still comfort me through this, then I can keep going. It's going to be hard. It's not going to stop. You don't just stop suffering because you believe in God or Jesus, but he will comfort you. And I decided to turn my life around and live for Jesus, not for me, and just know that anything I go through, Jesus will be there for me.
So, Stephanie, what is a challenge that you would like to give us tonight?
So for the believer, put yourself in unbeliever's shoes and just think of how it could feel to suffer. We live in a broken world, and just imagine suffering, but without having a hope. I knew God, and I suffered, but I had a hope, and that's what saved me. But just imagine not having that. And I just want that to encourage you and give you a desire to share the gospel. You may never know what that may do to someone. And for the non-believer, go to someone who knows Jesus and ask them about it. And if you're suffering, God can help you and fulfill you. He doesn't desire for us to suffer, but we live in a broken world, and he went through suffering too. He felt temptation. Jesus came down. He was fully God and fully human. And in Hebrews 15, it says, "For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weakness, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin. And he felt emotional pain. He was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And as one from whom men hide their faces, he was despised, and we esteemed him not." That's from Isaiah 53:3. And he suffered all types of pains physically and died on the cross. And God sympathizes with us closer than we can imagine. He loves us, and he will be with you through your suffering. The Lord says in Isaiah 41:10, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." And in Matthew 11:28-30, Jesus said, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest in your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." He comforted my soul and helped make my mind rest. He saved me and gave me hope in life. Jesus can also do that for you because he cares deeply for you.